Hello everyone, Killer here, and welcome to another Minecraft Dalek Mod video. Today I am in Minecraft 1.12.2 using the latest version of the Dalek Mod as of the time of this recording, which is the Dalek Mod Update 50.1. Alright, so recently I have been making some adjustments to the TARDIS, and I wanted to show off my progress with all of you. So what I'm going to do is dematerialize the TARDIS and turn on the engines, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to use this command panel here. Whoops. So I'm going to use this command panel here. We are going to dematerialize. And as you can see, the time rotor is now functioning. So this lets us know that we are in flight, that the TARDIS is on, that the engines are running. And I don't think it looks terrible. The only issue here, as you can see just there, is that it lagged for just a second. That's my computer more than anything. But other than that, I think it works pretty smoothly. So, if you haven't guessed, the topic of today's video is working time rotors in your custom Minecraft TARDIS. And I'm going to be showing you how you can do that. As you can see, it's an animated design, and again, apart from the lag due to my horrible computer, it works pretty good. It works pretty smoothly. So let me just dematerialize here, or rematerialize I should say, and as you can see, the time rotor now shuts itself off, and that lets us know that we are no longer in flight, and this is all activated on the same command panel. So I'm going to show you guys how you can do this, how you can set up your own system for your working animated time rotor in your custom TARDIS, how to turn it on and off with a single TARDIS command panel. And this design is pretty customizable, so you can do just about whatever you want with it. So let us step outside, and I will show you how this all works. Alright, so as we go up here, you can see that this is all the redstone that we need. And first off, what I have done is I've actually built an individual kind of state for each part of the time rotor that we cycle through for the animation. So as you can see, every single version or variant of that time rotor that you can see when it is functioning has actually been built in-game, and what we're using is we're cloning each of these designs with a command block, and we're cycling through them using a very simple old-fashioned redstone clock. So there are a few designs, but let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. Alright, so to begin with, as I said, you have to build a variant of each time rotor. So here I just have I don't know, about 16 of them I think are around there. It doesn't matter how many you have, but the important thing is that they are kind of in a loop with each other. So the way they're built, just for convenience with the redstone and everything, because again we're using a redstone clock, is that I kind of have them built going one way and then going around and going back the other way. But when you build these, you don't have to make them just one by however many high. You can make them as wide as you want within the limits of the Minecraft clone command, because that is what we use in these command blocks. So each of these command blocks is the exact same command in them. All I'm doing is cloning the area next to the command block. So starting here, just a 1x1 block area that goes up all the way up to that top block. And then we set it down at the coordinates where the time rotor is in the TARDIS interior, just over there. And again, each of these has the exact same command, because we're just cloning relative to the command block's location and we're just going right next to it. So what that will do is clone each of these builds and then place them down inside the TARDIS interior right there, one after the other, using the redstone clock. So to get that to function, I just have a redstone repeater here, and as you can see, it has a 3-tick delay, and that just holds kind of the state for a couple of seconds before moving on to the next one. Now you could put more repeaters in here to make it cycle through each of these states slower, and I suppose you could go faster if you want to, so long as the clock remains functional. But then it would be hard to see each and every state in between for the time rotor, so I would recommend just at least having some delay between the activation of the command blocks. So the next part of this is that we just have to activate the redstone clock and then turn it off again. How we accomplish that is through the command block, or the command panel, inside of the TARDIS. So at the end of the video I'll show you the exact commands that go in there. But for now, essentially, what I'm doing is placing down a block of redstone at a couple of different locations. This first one will create a redstone pulse that will activate the clock, so it gets placed right here. As you can see, that creates a redstone pulse that will then cycle through the entire redstone clock. And what I have next to it is just another redstone repeater with a 3-tick delay, and another command block that just sets the block next to it to air. So this block gets set to air a few seconds after we place it. That leaves it there long enough to give us enough of a redstone pulse to activate the clock. So if we took it away instantaneously, then we wouldn't have enough time to activate the clock and get it running. So all this does is give us a little bit of delay before that block gets deleted, so that we activate the redstone clock. Now the other issue that you might notice is this clock is not complete right now. So as you can see, no matter how many times you place this, it's not going to activate the clock. And that is because we need a block in here to complete the circuit. That's where this second thing comes in. This little setup of pistons and an absorber block is what is known as a T flip-flop. Now an interesting thing is flip-flops are actually real-life devices that are used in digital circuits. And what they are designed to do is just to hold states, say an on and off state in the real world. And flip-flops in Minecraft do much the same thing. The design of a T flip-flop is actually the simplest type of flip-flop out there. When you activate it the first time, it goes to one state. When you activate it a second time, it goes to another state. Very, very simple. So let me show you how this works. All I have here is a sticky piston that is set up to an observer block, which is facing this way. That's set up to another sticky piston. This gets pushed out. It hits that sticky piston, which pushes out this redstone lamp. Anyway, if I can get it in frame so we can kind of see how it works. If I set a block down here, as you can see, that activates the flip-flop. That sets down this redstone block within the clock. And this way, the clock will be activated. If I set down a redstone block here, it would run in a loop, and it would cycle through each state in our redstone clock. If I place down another redstone block here, that resets the flip-flop, that removes this block, and the clock will cycle through until it reaches the last state, and then it will shut off. So the purpose of the flip-flop is just so that we can turn the system on and then turn it off again by setting down a redstone block in one location. As you can see, we just cycle through the flip-flop, the stages here, that pulls the block out, and that puts it in. And again, this command block just with a redstone repeater, so we have enough of a pulse to activate the flip-flop. This time we have no tick delay. We'll remove that block so we can just place a block down here over and over and over again. And the flip-flop again will just flip back and forth between two states, the off state and the on state. And that will cause the clock to either activate or not activate. And when we do that, again, we set down every single time again a redstone block at this location just to give the pulse. When the flip-flop is in the off state, this redstone pulse won't matter, it won't cycle through the clock. That's why we have this being placed down at the end of the clock. So be careful not to place that down at the beginning, otherwise you'll cycle through the entire thing again. But we just have it placed down at the end, so that doesn't matter. When the flip-flop is on, and we place the block down again, it will activate the clock and keep cycling a loop until you activate the TARDIS panel again, and you turn the clock off. So that's how the system works. Initially, it's rather simple. And again, you can make these builds as large as you want, so long as it's within the limits of Minecraft's clone command. And you can do some pretty awesome things if you get creative with this. This is just something very simple that I made in a very fast amount of time just to see if this worked, but you guys can do just about anything you want with blocks, with armor stands, with item frames, I don't know. You can make something really cool with a functional time rotor like this, and you can just cycle through all those states and make it look like your TARDIS is actually running when you are dematerialized. So let's head back into my TARDIS here, and the last thing that I have to show off is the commands going on in this TARDIS panel. So let's just shift right click with an empty hand to open up this GUI, and as you can see, all that I'm doing is I'm setting a redstone block down in those two locations that I showed you. So one of them turns on and off that flip-flop, the other one gives the redstone pulse to turn the clock on. And the last command is just the travel command. As you can see, you can stack them up in there with the sound icon. I have a couple of videos on how to use the TARDIS command panels if you want to look at them. But essentially, this is the basic design. We're setting blocks down to two locations, and then we're using the travel command to dematerialize and rematerialize the TARDIS. And so when we dematerialize once again, it turns on. As you can see, it cycles through each and every single one of those states, or those builds that I have, using the clone command. And it looks like the engines are running. And then if we activate it again, we will rematerialize. This will cycle through those states until it reaches the default state at the end of the clock, and it will hold that steady and no longer run. And the TARDIS will be rematerialized, the engines will be off, and we can go and explore all of time and space. So the last thing I want to say about this design is technically you don't have to be in the Dalek Mod to use this. If you have a custom TARDIS in vanilla Minecraft, you could activate that system just using command blocks instead of the TARDIS panel, which is the only modded thing that we're using in here, technically. You could just have a lever or button set up to a couple of different command blocks inside of that TARDIS interior, and you could do the exact same thing. You could have a vanilla Minecraft TARDIS that looks like it has a functional time rotor. So this works really well with the Dalek Mod, but you do not have to use the Dalek Mod with that. So if you want to build a custom vanilla TARDIS in, say, 1.14, I believe that this should work in there as well. So that, guys, is how you can make your own custom animated working time rotor for your Minecraft custom TARDIS. And again, this will work both in the Dalek Mod and in vanilla Minecraft. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys can get creative with this, because again, you can do just about any design that you want, as many designs as you want. You can make that redstone clock absolutely enormous. Just be sure to have it close enough to your TARDIS interior so that it's within your loaded world so that the redstone will activate. So just a couple of chunks over or whatever, out of sight, but make sure it's within your loaded chunks, within your render distance or whatever, so that it actually works. And that is all I've got to say for this video. So thank you once again for watching, guys. Again, get creative with this. You can do just about anything you want, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. So have a good day, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. So goodbye for now.